Hey kid lovers, we're so glad you're back. If you are new around here, these online learning labs are part of our Spark series where we hope to spark a love of learning with your child. This month we're exploring maps. As always, I want to mention a few books that have helped inform this study. Today, since we're talking about maps of home, I want to mention this beautiful book by Carson Ellis called Home, and it highlights so many different kinds of homes. It really starts to get you thinking about where people live or even creatures live. And this is a favorite. Anytime I teach maps, I bring out this oversized version of a couple books. The one I think you might be most interested in is called Me on the Map by Joan Sweeney. People across centuries have had a fascination with maps. It seems like there's a common impulse to want to chart new territories, discover new worlds, and then tell everyone else about it. It's so fun to be an explorer. A map maker is called a cartographer, and cartographers get to make some pretty creative decisions. They decide how the information on their map is going to be laid out. What colors or symbols are going to represent different things? Which vantage point do they want to show? From above? From below? They get to choose what colors represent things. Is blue gonna represent cold or ice? Is red gonna represent hot lava? They design symbols to represent things too. How am I gonna draw something that represents that dragon in its lair? But let's back up for a minute. What exactly are maps? How would you define what a map is? There are a lot of different kinds of maps. A climate map, which can tell you weather patterns. Is it going to be hot or cold today? A topographical map, which will show you landforms, rivers, valleys, mountains. A road map, which can help you get to your friend's house. That still isn't helping us define what a map actually is. My simple definition? A map is a visual representation of data. So what does it mean? Maps are kind of like stories. Stories have authors, and maps have authors too, map makers called cartographers. Stories give you details, so you can start to see the plot unfold in your mind. Maps have all kinds of information. All those little details help you get to where you want to go. Stories have readers, maps have viewers, you or me. We're the ones looking at the map and interpreting what it means. Rather than using words, cartographers use symbols, colors, shapes, lines. All of these things help tell the viewer what's going on and how to read the map. Maps show you information. It's a visual representation of data. And this is where it gets cool. Remember I said there are all kinds of maps? The ones you're likely thinking of are road maps or climate maps or even topographical maps. But if a map is just a way to visualize information, then we can get creative here. Have you ever made a treasure map? Try hiding something in your yard for your brother or sister to find, and then drawing a map of it. Use colors, symbols, lines to help them find it. It's like a big treasure hunt. X marks the spot. Or how about making a map of your breakfast? Draw a plate, and then create symbols for each thing on your breakfast plate. Maybe draw a dotted line that shows the path you're gonna take as you eat it all up. Or make a map of an imaginary land. What are you gonna include? What symbols will you make? You're gonna wanna create a key or a legend at the bottom that includes what those symbols mean. Or use one of your other senses and go make a sound map of everything you hear outside. I wanna talk for a minute about another kind of map. Architects are artists that design houses and buildings, so architectural maps have to be an accurate representation of a space. For our project today, we're gonna be architects for a few minutes and create maps of our own homes. It's a good idea when you're first learning about maps to start small. Start with your house or narrow it down even more to just the room that you're in. It's helpful if everything is within a short walking distance so you can get up and move around as you map it. As you go, you might want to extend your map to include your backyard, your street, or even your whole city. Map projects like this are great for STEM learning. They reinforce skills like spatial awareness, but a good map project will also incorporate creative right brain thinking. Depending on the age of your child, you can go deeper into the art and science of cartography and learning how to analyze map data. Learning to read a compass, making a scale, or even creating a 3D model can all be great learning extensions. For this project, I recommend starting out with a simple map of your home and then building layers. For this project, you'll need regular paper, tracing paper. I recommend having a clipboard, pencil, markers, and a ruler. I'm gonna start by using a piece of paper on my clipboard and creating a sketch of the room that I'm in now. On architectural maps, oftentimes they will leave spaces for doors or windows. Maybe you want to create a line out to indicate that it's a door. After you've drawn your walls, you can move on to the furniture. I've got 2 desks behind me. A desk I'm sitting at right now. My work table. So as you can see, it's just the start of a simple map. Now, at this point, if you have tracing paper, I recommend adding your first layer using a Sharpie marker and creating a second draft. One of the great things about doing a map project on tracing paper, you can use windows during the day, kind of like a light table. Then you can add more layers of tracing paper as you continue to build your map. I want to show you one that my daughter and I have been working on. We first sketched out a map of our home, talking about each room as we went. When we created our second layer, my daughter added symbols to represent the furniture, making note on a legend of what each of her symbols mean. We even decided to add another layer to our map to include some landscaping. We live on a lake, so we wanted to include that. We have bushes right outside the house, a walkway, a driveway, a garden, and a chicken run. This is your map, so get creative. You might want to try making multiple layers as you have time. We decided to do our base layer of the layout of the house. Our second layer was furniture, and our third layer was landscape. You might want to make a map of your backyard, and your layers may look different depending on the season. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you give it a try, be sure to tag us so we can see. As always, you can find more resources by looking at the description below and checking out the links. See you next time!